Islam. Islam.
Islam?
Why don't you let Brother Jordan open up? That's okay.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
All rods face the east. Feet at a 45-degree angle, 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
The Father of love. Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom. And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My God. And my salvation. By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet. Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
First, I want to rise and give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe. I want to give honors to his prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I want to give honors to everything pertaining to Moorish. I want to give honors to each and every one of you, all members, guests, sheikesses, all national and local officials. I want to start by reading the Divine Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Salvation, our God and unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make laws and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father, God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and the Constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and a partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. And all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey fathers and mothers and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Now I want to read the additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Act 1, grant sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses, each said temple must be approved by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali, before acting upon by any member, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violate these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions, etc., by the prophet or the sheikh. Act 2, all members are to attend their ADAP meetings, their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around when their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case. The second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3, it is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4, all members, while making a public speech, may not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are here to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Oh, that little sweat coming out. Act 5, all members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire. Let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out of your Sunday school comes the guiders of a nation. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaveholders, to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live,
Is that a temple?
nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7, all members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey fathers and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, by the guidance of his father, God Allah. Like to turn your attention to the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. We're going to take a read from chapter 26, Holy Instructions of Unity. The gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah, and he appointed to everyone his portion in what measure seemeth good unto himself. Hath he endowed thee with wisdom? Hath he enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Communicated to the ignorant for their instruction, communicated to the wise for thine own improvement. True wisdom is less presuming than folly. The wise man doubteth often and changes his mind. The fool is obstinate and doubteth not. He knoweth all things but his own ignorance. With that, Moors, I'm going to turn the meeting over back to the chairman. Islam.
Islam.
And if I do as the law says, I know that everything's going to be all right. I want to pray. And the law say pray.
I wanna pray like Allah say pray. And if I pray like Allah say pray, I know that everything is gonna be alright.
I want to do
Like Allah say do. I wanna
do like Allah say do. And if I do as Allah say do, I know that everything is gonna be alright. I know that everything is gonna be alright. I know that everything is gonna be alright. Islam?
Islam.
First, I rise and give praise to Allah. Give honor to his most illustrious prophet, Prophet Nabi Ali. Give honor to everything that the opening acting chairman gave honor to, and like to give honor to each and every one of you.
Mhm.
At this time, I'd like to read the chapter for today. Before I turn our call on the grand sheet. I'm going to try to turn to page 5. Divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, chapter 2. Education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zone, Egypt. The son of Herod, Archelaus, reigned in Jerusalem. He was a selfish, cruel king. He put to death all those who did not honor him. He called and counseled all the wisest men and asked the infant claimant of his throne. The council said that John and Jesus both were dead. Then he was satisfied. Now Joseph, Mary, and their son were in Egypt in Zone, and John was with his mother in the Judean field. Helium Salome sent messenger in haste to find Elizabeth and John. They found them. They brought them to Zone. Now Mary and Elizabeth were marveling much because of their deliverance. Helium said, "It is not strange. There are no happenings. Law governs all events. From olden time it was ordained that you should be with us, and in the sacred schools we taught." Helium and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out to the sacred grove nearby where they were wont to teach. Helium said to Mary and Elizabeth, "You may esteem yourself thrice blessed, for you are chosen mothers of long-promised sons, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone, on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed. We measure time by cycle ages, and the gate to every age we deem a milestone,
in the journey of the race. An age had passed, the gate unto another age by open as the age touch a turn. This the preparation age of souls, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of the law in man. And these, your sons, will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of goodwill to men and peace on earth. A mighty work is theirs. For carnal men want not the light, they love the dark. And when the light shine in the dark, they comprehend it not. We call these sons revealers of the light, and they must have the light before they can reveal the light. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with hope, with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their mission to the sons of men. Teach them that law and man are one. With their true carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man torn himself away from Allah, debase himself. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That not to make them one, but love. That Allah so loved the world that he has clothed his son in flesh, that man could comprehend. The only Savior of the world is love, and Jesus, Son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. Now, love cannot be manifest until his way has been prepared. And naught can rend the rock, and bring the lofty hills, and fill the valley up, and thus prepare the way but purity. But purity and life men do not comprehend, and so it too must come in flesh. And you, Elizabeth, are blessed, because yours is purity made flesh, and he shall pave the way to love. This age will comprehend but little of the work of purity and love. For not a word is lost, for in the book of the law's remembrance, a registry is made of every thought and word and deed. And when the world is ready to receive, lo, Allah will send a messenger to open the book and copy from its sacred pages all the messages of purity and love. Every man of earth will read the words of life and language of his native land. And men will see the light and walk in the light and be the light. And man again will be at one with Allah. Let's have read the entire chapter of Divine and Triple Son of Holy Prophet. Education of Mary and Elizabeth in the zone of Egypt, the fallen sons and daughters of Asiatic nation of North America, moved to life and love instead of hate. You know, the higher self and lower self. This is united with the Holy Quran of Mecca, from people checking on North America, etc. From the Holy Quran and more South of America. Know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship on his own vine and fig tree, the uniting of patience. Praise Allah for allowing us to be here in this Sunday school. You know, this is where we get a better understanding of some of the teaching that the Prophet Noble Ali, and everybody who wants to learn more about the Moorish movement. So praise Allah that we set this time out, and we confirm ourselves to the questionnaire, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the name. So this is what we dealing with. So praise Allah. This all at this time, we will go through the questionnaire. So who made you, Lord?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
And Jesus?
No.
What is the name of the place we can
No.
Who is Noble Ali?
Prophet
What is a prophet?
is the thought of Allah and the best in God.
What's the duty of a prophet?
Save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who's the founder of the Moorish Concept of America?
Noble Ali.
What year was the Moorish Concept of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Ali born?
In the state of North Carolina in 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish Americans?
Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America.
For what purpose was the Moorish Concept of America founded?
For uplifting and fallen humanity.
Praise Allah. How did Allah make you? You said who made you? All right. How did Allah make you? Islam. It's the
Islam.
feces,
First, I rise and give praise to Allah. I give honors to everything that our acting chairman, Brother R. Jordan Hill, gave honors to upon the opening of this meeting. And I give honors, of course, to all of the Moors present today. I would say fearfully and wonderfully are we made.
That's confirming. We made it the image and after the likeness of God Allah.
That's
Confirming said the question here. It said fearfully and wonderful are thou made. And that's where we can find that at.
Islam.
Go to Quran.
Quran of the Moors.
Yeah. Praise Allah. This is correct. But any answer, like I said, if he says he made in the spirit and your spirit is a part of Allah, that's fine too.
Islam.
Yes.
Just wanted to ask, are we speaking to Brother Chairman or Brother Assistant Sunday School Teacher, just so we can get it correct?
Both for now. I think we're doing both.
Praise
So-
you, Allah.
So turn it over to the grand sheik. I don't know if he's ready to take it.
He's on his way, he'll be here.
All right. So where do we find that at? Chapter what?
Know thyself?
So that's not great. All right. What page?
30, I don't know, chapter 36, I was about to say page 36. Chapter 36.
No, that's on page
44.
44. All right.
That's what he said.
Instruction 2. This is divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, chapter 36, Holy instruction from the Prophet, know thyself. And it said, fearfully and wonderful art thou made. Praise therefore thy creator with awe, and rejoice before him with reverence. Wherefore of all creatures art thou only erect, but that thou should behold his works. Wherefore art thou to behold, but that thou that mayest admire them. Wherefore to admire that thou mayest adore thee and thy creator. Wherefore is consciousness before bestowed on thee alone, on whence it derived to thee. And then he goes on. It's not in flesh to think, it's not in bones to reason. It's praise the Lord. Anybody have any question for page 1? On the first 15. Anybody online? Hands up, anything? No hands up. No hands up. All right. So we're gonna get warm up. We'll warm you up before we were going to keep on. So we go to page 2. How did the prophet begin to uplift and wash America?
By teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism,
Is that a new or is that an old time religion?
old time religion.
What kind of flag is a Moorish?
It is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday,
Why?
because Friday is the day in which man was formed in flesh, and it was on Friday when he departed out of flesh.
Who was Jesus?
He was a prophet of Allah
Where was he born?
in Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David,
Who was his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give him brief? The line genealogy to which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers through which Jesus came are Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph by Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
To save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression and the pale-skinned nations of Europe who were governing a portion of Palestine at that time,
How long has that been?
about 2,000 years ago.
What is the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabitess,
What is the mother name for Moabites?
Moroccans,
Where is the Moroccan Empire?
northwest of Mexico,
What is the mother name for a Mexican?
Africa,
What is the title given to a ruler in Morocco?
so
Where did we get the name Jesus?
from the east,
Now, how did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans?
by teaching them to be themselves.
Anybody want to explain that? How to be yourself?
Islam.
Islam.
We have a hand from Brother Suleiman Bey.
Yeah, you first, man.
Oh, that was why I was saying.
Islam, Moorish Americans.
Islam.
Islam. First I rise, giving praise to the great God Allah, Father of the universe, and honor to our holy and divine Prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and honors to all those who spoke before me and all officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 34. Islam, I had a question, Muslim. So if the assistant treasurer can get back to me, I had a question on, one of the instructions or one of the keys that we were just demonstrating. Islam.
Which one? The one that we went over there already?
We went over it already. It was question 17, Muslim.
All right, okay, you can get back to that.
Islam.
Islam, this is CC O'Neill.
That's fine, first I give praise to Allah, honest to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and everything pertaining to Islam, as I just did once before. And honors, of course, to our acting opening chairman. I love to see when the Moors come up,
Yeah,
because
that's what
as the prophet always instructed that we need to know, right? It's up to all the members to preserve these holy and divine laws.
That's right.
And so even without someone taking the time, the hands-on and go, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. When the Moors come to their meetings and the Moors take the time to study,
That's right.
And so you also get to see it. And I just know that or I hope that this is encouraging to everyone who gets to see it, as it is to those who are able to partake, and just to continue to give those honors to our brothers and sisters. Because to withhold honors is both mean and unjust.
That's right.
Jesus means justice more, so let's just think. Of course, he came for love, right? His demonstration of love. But the answer to Brother Chairman's question, when he said teaching them to be themselves, but it's the concept to me of chapter 3 found in the divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, where he whose lesson is the unity of life, found on page 7. And I would say it starts from instruction number 5. And then I would say it can stop. Well, you can go all the way through to the end, if you will, but where it actually leaves out the last of the word lower and higher. I would say is that instruction number 15.
Praise the Lord. Yeah. Because Prophet teaches us about ourselves. When we go to chapter 3, tell us that we have two selves. We got a higher self and we got a lower self. This is where we can measure ourselves in terms of our actions as we are in the public, because we're supposed to demonstrate the principle of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We're supposed to imitate the prophet in what? In word, work, and deed. That's what we're supposed to do, imitate the prophet. If you use the proper words, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong if you use the proper words. Because the prophet said, every word I speak is spirit. Every word you speak is spirit. So this is where you can find a lot of things about ourselves. And like you said, he who knows well is lower self, knows the illusion of the world, knows the things that pass away. And he who knows well is higher self, knows Allah, knows well the things that cannot pass away. Because if you would ask me what to study, I say yourselves. That means your higher self and your lower self. And you would ask me what to study next, I would reply yourselves. So we constantly got to study ourselves, because we got to use the tool within our own self to measure whether we're in a higher self or lower self. Because sometimes, remember, sometimes the lower self may think that you're in your higher self. Sometimes you think you're on the course of being in your higher self, but you be on the lower self. So you have to be able to measure it. Brother,
Islam.
Islam.
I rise and praise Allah and give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. As I was sitting here listening to you and the sister, I was thinking about, like the phrase that it uses in the questionnaire, teaching them to be themselves. And we're talking about, getting to know ourselves and our higher self and our lower self. Like, we're almost getting to know what we're capable of. We're talking about getting to know our identity, we're getting to know our character. When people know you personally, or they're familiar with you, and you act out in a sort of way, they'll say, or you're acting out of character. So it's almost like we're getting familiarized with ourselves and what we have the possibility, what possibilities we have within us with a higher self and the lower self. So we have the possibility of going into our lower self, and we have the possibility of going into our higher self. It's just making ourselves aware of that so we can make a conscious choice when we see the actions of one or the other. That's the piece.
Hey.
Because I know when we read the chapter, it says, superiority and command was given thee over all. And of his own breath, we communicate the principle of knowledge. A lot of things is within us already. He united thy duty to thy nature, that obedience to his precepts is happiness in thyself. So that's why I said we always got to put a measurement on those things within ourselves and our actions. That the action of our lives show that love to his laws. So we got to stick to his laws. We got to be in tune with his laws. Brother Salam Obey, you want to go to 17? What is our religion?
Islamism.
Go ahead, Salam Obey.
Islam, Muslims. And, what is our religion? Islamism. And, I think about a lot of the things that are going on in the world right now. I think about what we would call Muslim nations, as they recently had a big meeting. And, as you hear certain heads of state speak, you hear them refer to Islam and Prophet Muhammad, whom we honor. So my question is, if someone were to ask a Moorish American Muslim, what is your religion? I know sometimes it's interchanged with Islam and Islamism. So I'm just, looking at things now and stating, and asking myself as well, and I'd love to hear the Moors demonstrate on it. Islam or Islamism, is there a difference? And is there a proper, because we understand the question and answer. However, a lot of us may interchange it with Islam as our religion. So my question is Islam the same as Islamism? I guess that would be a good way to put it. Peace.
Islam.
I deal with brother R. Jordan Hill. Praise
I
Allah.
know
Islam. I know you got the answer, brother. Praise Allah.
No, I just wanted to say, to his point, it is all the same. We make no distinctions between the prophets. Even Prophet Muhammad said that he follows the religion of Abraham, and that's that old time religion. That's peace. It always existed and it always will. Yeah, that's what I had to say. Peace. Islam.
Yes.
See over there?
Islam, and that's exactly why I yield the concept of understanding the oneness in the sense of the prophets, right? The prophets being divinely prepared. Now, when you talk about the practice and what the customs are, whether or not custom, that's the thing.
I know.
I heard the foot. All right, I couldn't help but turn around. I heard her feet, heard her footsteps on this. I know the lead sound, but praise Allah, not to get too distracted. The thought of Islamism, as it says here, old time religion, right? And so it speaks to just that difference as far as in the practice of peace.
Yeah.
But what I understand now is that the same way, like you have people who represent the church, who represent Jesus, right? And they may not represent it in the manner in which maybe Jesus had described, based on how other people may view it and expect it to look. And so when it's looking at whether we're in line, I don't know if the brother's question was asking whether or not we're in line with the way that other nations, we all recognize the Allah, we all recognize that we have principles, but when it comes to being able to exact out that true Islamism, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice has to be taught universally to all nations and all lands. So that would be the thought piece.
Brother Escobar Bay? Islam.
With the brother's question is a good question though. Is it different? Or is it the same? I'll say that it's the same as in the prophets and the oneness of God and Allah, but it's different in customs and tradition. And that is because all nations and every nation have a prophet.
Yeah.
And not every nation practice Islam alike. Islam is practiced differently around the world. So when that's why we have Islamism, because we're from all around the world, basically. And that we practice this religion is the religion of peace. And how we practice it is different in customs and tradition. But the law, the divine law, is the same. And that's what all the prophets bring, the divine law, peace.
Peace. Peace. Praise the Lord. This long, let me turn the meeting over to the grand sheet. You come back over class. Page 2.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Islamism.
Islamism.
Give praise to Allah and honor to His prophet.
Happier here.
And honor to everything that the chairman gave honor to, everything the acting chairman gave honor to. Give honor to the Moors. Praise Allah. If you're not ready, then you should do what?
They're ready.
Right? And if you are ready, you should do what?
Stay ready.
Stay ready, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm traveling down the road, running late, I got my app open for 2 o'clock. Right? Because I know at 2 o'clock, something's gonna happen. Like clockwork. Like you wait for your train in the morning, trying to get to work. And the train not supposed to come at 6, right? 6:05, 6:10. If it's a 6 o'clock train, they're usually there a couple minutes before 6. The conductor might give a little look at 6 o'clock, you know, maybe 15 seconds if someone may be running a little late. But when it's at 6 o'clock, train operator moving.
That's right.
Right? So praise Allah for the ones that got ready, got TV, Zoom. We all over the place now. But praise Allah. And that's a good question, Brother Salam Bey.
Yeah.
To me, that's an opening question.
Yeah.
You see, when someone says that, it's like I'll say Muslim. I'll say, yeah, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim. I'm a follower of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Huh? Like the brother said. I was at a funeral on Friday, right? It was a Baptist church. I've been to a Baptist church before. It gets a little lively. Anyone here been to a Baptist church? You? Anyone else? No Baptist church. Google it, Baptist. Minister started going and he had a little rhythm. I was like sitting back. Baptist, Christian, Jehovah's Witness, Roman Catholic, Methodist, right? Sunni, Shiite, Sufi. But the thing about it is, you want to understand what you're part of first. If you don't know what you're part of, like the brother's talking about, how do you know how to answer the question? If you're not sure. Tell them more, if you say what the prophet said, you can't go wrong. What is your religion, Moors?
Islamism.
Is there another answer in the book?
No.
So when it comes to religion, that's your answer. You would answer another man his religion, let him answer it just whatever way he wants. You might say, well, why did the prophet say it like that? It seems to be alluding to something, right? Go skip it back. He's not just saying, because he said in chapter 48, he says, therefore we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations.
Yeah, that's right.
While we, Brother Turner, may help me out. While we, the Moorish Americans, what are we doing? Returning to Islam. Right? Doesn't say Islamism. Tell me somewhere else where the prophet wrote Islamism. Yeah, find it. Right there. One answer to the question. So it's like, if anyone ever asks me any questions, like you're down the street or you're at the job, and they say, Brother Anibay, what's your nationality? Oh, that's an easy one. It's right here. I don't have to think about what that more on YouTube said. I don't have to think about what that other grand sheet said, or the sister that was on Facebook said. All good. All sharing their portion, their treasure. But when the prophet gives you the answer, and he's standing there with you, with your fez on,
And when they ask you to answer, he's going like a teacher, like a parent. I just went over those spelling words this morning. She gonna say cat is C-A-T. I mean, I just talked to her this morning. The prophet's sitting there and he said, "Well, you know, your coworker said, what's your religion? I'm always interested in the way you carry yourself." "Oh, Islam." "The prophet's standing there with you." I was like, why do you say Islam? And then the man said, "Oh, you're a Muslim?" And you go, "Yeah." He goes, "Assalamu alaikum." You go, "Wa alaikum assalam." The prophet's standing there with you, watching you. Why even have the Moorish Science of America? It could just have been the mosque with the teachings of a new prophet. Like in Baltimore, they have a beautiful building, the Ahmadiyya movement. Nice, beautiful building. You know, mosque where you can go pray any way you want. Islam. Why put the charter up there? I'm not even talking about the national part. I'm not even talking about that. Islam. Yeah, Islam, the old time religion. Because see, when you're talking to someone and you know they don't know, don't leave them in their dumb bag or their ignorant bag. Don't leave them there. Don't pretend with them. Yeah, let me get a little candy. It's Halloween. See, you're really not dressing up. But they are dressing up. Well, what are you doing? Can't fake it. We talk about in the temple, right? We say, "Come as you are." Come, right? Go turn the bay, open the door, whatever great person is like. You know, they not gonna disturb the meeting. You know what I'm saying? Just come on in. You got big old afro, wear your hair, got basketball shorts on, whatever. Just smoke the joint, whatever. Come on in. But you can't stay like that. You gotta suit up, boot up, fez up, turban up, clean up. It's all about upping. I don't care where you are. So Brother Grand Sheik, the more I saw him drinking a 6-pack before the temple meeting, oh, that more is a terrible more. No, he's not, Mo. He used to drink a whole case, Mo. But you don't know that. You see that, you ready to judge. The man like Brother Grand Sheik, "I didn't drink a whole case today." No more, you doing good, Mo. Tomorrow only 3 bands. Next time, Grand Sheik. Praise Allah, Mo. See, Allah, you want Allah to be so merciful on you, but yet you're not extending it to no one. What kind of just karma, 7 principles of law, according to law? How could that be if you're not living like that? You might as well live the law of mercy and compassion because that's what you need. Why is teaching us how to learn to love instead of hate? Because love cleans up a lot of things. Love cleans up a lot of things. When you love someone, you treat them certain. When you hate them, treat them another. Praise Allah. Good question. I go with Islamism, and it uses as an end. And this is what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Sorry, last week was a marathon, literally a marathon here. I didn't want to come close to the seats. Then this morning, you know, I'm early, and I'm doing the Uber thing. What they call it? Side hustle. Right? We're back in the day. Who remembers that show in Living Color? They said men have to have 2 and 3 and 4 jobs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then the girl came home, married a married man, you know, only one job, the doctor. You make a lot of man only got one job, that's not good. One job. Right? But the whole thing about it is, what's your backup plan? What's your third plan? I've been driving a taxi, some of you know, yellow taxi, limousine since I was 19. Yo, 19, and I like doing it. So Uber is like, yo, go on the app, get your car, vacuum it out, get a car wash, and make some money. So this morning, I'm like, let me get a little money. Next thing I know, I'm down in Delaware, past Brother Jordan or Sister Jordan's house. When I'm looking at the map, I'm like, it's going past Dover and Magnolia and Samaria. I'm like, oh man, I think I'm gonna be a little late for my meeting. But I didn't say I wasn't gonna make one. See, the lower self was like, well, you're so far. I was like, well, how late? Yeah, I said, well, yeah, they can open up. Yeah, but you know, you can go on so far. The prophet says you can make your meetings what? Must make your meetings or you sometime? You must. You must make your meetings. So we've been talking about the temple. We're talking about the Lord. What's your name again, Moore? What's your first name? Say it? Darren. You said Darren, right? All right, Darren, good to see you. You cleaned up a little bit. Yeah. Just think that in then one meeting. Can you imagine the next meeting? Next thing you know, you see a little bow tie up in there. You know? Start feeling good about yourself. You never seen the pictures of your grandparents as part of the Garvey movement or something? They be up on your parents' walls or something. You're like, who's that? That's your great uncle or something. He got a sword on the side. You looking all serious. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, boy, he was a Garvey guy. Oh, you ever seen the pictures of the Black Panthers? You ever seen pictures of people and you're looking at them like, well, who are those people? Well, those are the people that are doing something, right? You might not know now, right? You telling me that me and you go on a corner, me and Brother Jordan, and we walk up to Notion and see two brothers with bald heads with bow ties on, selling bean pies and Nation of Islam final call. You're telling me we're not gonna feel some kind of pride in our heart? You're telling me all the people that might not say nothing to them or passing by don't inside themselves, oh man, they make me feel so good. There's all of those negative stereotypes. I don't care whether you believe in them or not. You tell me when them brothers and sisters be coming by, the Jehovah's Witnesses, with young teenagers suited and dresses on and everything, talking about the gospel and everything. You might not agree with it, but why don't you say, man, I wish that was my family. You know what I'm saying? You got people who are trying. Someone look up that word for me. Trying. Because I was taught my life, the only thing beats a try is a failure. Come in any way you want. But in this temple is a teaching temple. So when you come out, you coming out like a grand sheep. You coming out with minister paper to go on the hedges and the highways to set aside temples. Now, whether people are doing it or not, that's what it says. Right, Brother Skipper Bay? Yeah. That's what it says. It's a movement. How do you think all these temples got set up? Somebody, some people, group or more, somewhere, went somewhere in Princeton, in Virginia, and set aside Richmond Temple. Set aside Petersburg Temple. Someone set aside New York Temple 21. Set aside Temple 10. Yeah, they said the prophet went to visit and set the temple up, but then the prophet left. And it was those more that had to make it happen. When the prophet sent the Cook Bay brothers to Baltimore to set up a temple. When Brother Curtin Bay asked the Moors and he got the from Temple 21, they got a piece of property, one of the members of Temple 21, their relative. So let's say Brother Skipper Bay had an aunt. And he talking to his aunt, she said, I had this property and I want to pay these taxes and I don't really even want it and everything you want. He's like, well, I belong to this organization. They probably could do something with it. You come in and tell the grand sheik, look, my aunt want to give. Fine, we take it to the convention, to the grand body. Brother Curtin Bay said, hey, Brother Nelson Bay, he has a degree in agriculture, went to college for it. He's willing to move from Detroit to Prince George, Virginia, to this piece of property. We got a couple up in New York named the Franklin Hills, brother and sister Franklin Hill from New York, willing to leave their home to go down and live in a tent. And I'm supposed to call you to see if you can make your meeting. I'm supposed to give you some incentive. That's what's wrong with our people. We don't lost our fighting. I knew it back in the 80s. All me and my friends talking to each other about Nation of Islam. And all they want to do is go apart. Let's give a big no. You want to hang out? And you're saying no to drugs then. Now, but before Nancy Reagan, rich people had cocaine parties, poor people who smoked weed, and people who really hung out was doing all kind of shooting up heroin, and people smoking cigarettes, and all kind of whatever he's doing. And then Nancy Reagan came in, and every first lady, i.e., is supposed to have some kind of like policy or program. And she come up with this concept: say no to drugs. All the stuff you see there, and that's back in the 80s. But before that, Studio 54, it was all about partying. And our brothers and sisters is caught up in it. And when we were children, we saw Martin Luther King get killed. We saw Malcolm X get killed. Medgar Evers get killed. We saw the president of the United States get killed. We saw his brother get killed. And we're sitting there, and the remnants of that is Jesse Jackson running for president in the 1980s. Keep hope alive. And his own brothers and sisters wouldn't even rally behind him. Having his own issues, obviously. There was no other candidates. There was no group, there was no Asiatic group saying, we're gonna march, we're gonna do this, we're gonna help our people. So the reason I'm just saying that is because it takes to try. Who got the word try? Brother Treasurer, what is it?
To make an attempt or effort to do something, he tried to regain his breath. Use, test, or do in order to see if it is suitable, effective, or pleasant. Attempt to achieve or attain.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I don't think, Brother Chairman, is that too much to ask them all?
I would say you must.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no.
I'm just asking them to try,
Yeah,
right?
right, yeah.
I'm just saying you must. I'm just saying start off with the try.
If not,
Try to make it meet. Try to study. Try to be a better member. I'm trying. I am nowhere near perfect at all. I'm just trying. Now we got brothers surrounded, but it's on more, so you hand up. It's on.
So last week, we'll forget to break out our longer concepts, so we probably do on here. And you want everything that pertains to the tomorrow. I have a definition of time.
Go ahead.
Says make an effort to achieve or complete. An act of trying to achieve something, typically one that is unsuccessful or not certain to succeed.
Praise Allah. Let me ask you a question. Brother Jordan, you remember what you had on when you got married?
Yes.
This on, what you have on? Tell them more. Remind them more. This on.
Brown shoes, blue suit, red tie, fez.
Did you think about it?
No.
You just wore it?
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
you mean did I plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I planned. Yeah.
You planned it out, right?
Yes, I did.
Because why? Why'd you plan it out? Something special, right?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw Brother Smith Eel in Chicago with a white suit on.
It's long.
You know what I'm saying? And he told me about a special moment him and his mother had. You know? Yeah, anyone here ever been in a wedding party? Brother Turnbank? You been in a wedding party? You remember? Tell us something about it. Was it 2 or 3 guys? You all have Macs and stuff on? Tell us something about that wedding party, what you remember. What's up?
Bachelor party or
A wedding party, like you was in
after the marriage?
during the wedding, like you was there with the best man and his boys, and she had to make. You was in that? Stand up for more. Tell us what you had on. What you remember that? Was it a tuxedo or something? What you have on?
All black,
Okay.
black, you know, everybody has, it's like a formal thing.
It's a what thing?
Sorry,
A form. And what does formal mean, Mo? Break it down for us a little bit. Okay. I seen the other day you was helping one of your brothers with a tie, right?
Yeah.
Praise Allah. So we got different ways to dress, right? Right? Brother Darren, right? If I say Darren, y'all haven't shot no hoops in a while, me and Skipping Bay, we're gonna be over there. Springfield Boulevard in the conduit or something, shoot some hoops. You wanna come by and hang out with us, right? You like, okay, so then you're gonna go home, right? You're like, I'm going to shoot hoops, right? So what you gonna wear?
Asking for
Your gear, right? Do they still call it your gear? I
Yeah.
wanna be current more. If they current stuff, you gotta let me know. Your gear, right? You people in the Zoom, y'all got gear? But now you get some bad news, someone in the neighborhood, I wanna say, if someone passed away, you gotta go to a funeral, go home, what do you think you're gonna go grab to wear? Suit. Why? Formal. Yeah. Brother Jordan, you're going for an interview for Amtrak. You found out you in MTA and everything. They got this nice position, assistant manager, district, region, New York, Amtrak, right out of Penn Station, with stops up there in Wilmington.
I like that.
You like that, right?
Yes, sir.
An interview. What do you think you're gonna wear for the interview?
So I'm gonna put on my best suit and best shoes and groom myself and
Okay,
be ready.
you ready? So now you're coming to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Sunday school. Right? You feel me?
Yeah.
It's not your wedding. Not that. Not a job interview. But it's something, right? Right? First day of school, you're sending your children to school. Right? You see what I'm saying? They're out in society. You're out in society. And think about it. How you dress, how you consider yourself is important. All right? Islam, brother, how are you doing? What's your name? Michael. Michael, glad to meet you. I'm gonna pick up your hat. Praise Allah. So if you were sitting, right? You're sitting down, right? At your job interview. At someone's funeral. On a basketball court. Sitting down. At a restaurant with some of your friends. Sitting down with your grandmother. The family at a family gathering after the graduation. These different settings, right? We heard of something called body language,
Yeah.
right? You ever seen like military people, like the Navy have graduation, something they all sitting there like this. They got their hats a certain way, right? And they're, but they're in the military, right? And then you see people at regular college graduation, high school, they're talking to their friends, and then but they sitting there, they got caps down, right? So if I'm sitting there chilling, I'm chilling, right? This is what this means, right? Right? I mean, I'm cooling, right? So we're saying body language, right? So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I say, come as you are. Everyone comes as they are. But then we're trying to get to a certain place, right? I saw this young man, he's probably old as me. He's running for mayor of Baltimore. And he spoke at this Marine Corps birthday yesterday. And he's talking about the 60s and the way he's carrying himself and everything. And there's other people in the room, a lot of military veterans and Marines. And I saw this one, they had a ceremony where they cut the cake, and the oldest Marine in the room was like almost 90 something. And they passed it on to the youngest Marine in the room as a tradition of the elder handing off the traditions and all the traditions and customs to the younger one to carry on, right? And this young Marine, they mentioned that he joined in 2020. He's 23 years old. He's been in the Corps for 3 years. And when the flag was going out, this is how he walks. And he was like, Marine blue uniform on, all official, 23 years old. And think about all of our young brothers and sisters. How did he know how to do that? He probably came to the Corps as he was, right? A 20-year-old from Baltimore. An 18 and 19-year-old brother or sister comes into this temple. They never been to a PATA meeting. They never had to be in a formal setting. Maybe they never even had a job interview. Maybe they've never been in a wedding party, maybe seen it. They don't even know how to tie a tie. They don't know what cufflinks are. Sister, same thing. Who's gonna teach them? So part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, right? We say, what is the definition of nationality, right? Give me the simple, it took the character, say it, brother. That's on.
Quality of character which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or state.
Right. The prophet came to teach us things to make us better what?
Citizens.
Better citizens. Your nationality, our divine creed. So we work in the workshop of the mind where things are made of thought. I don't carry a compass in a square in front of me. I carry it up in here. And for your information, I couldn't carry it here if I wanted to. Because see, in my quest, talk about the Masons, this, Mason, like, how can I stand there for 20-something years talking about Masons and I don't know what I'm talking about? I know I'm not a Mason. So I literally went to the lodge. There's on. Hello, hello. Brother Clendenin Bay, Grand Sheep, Temple 21. You know what I'm talking about, let's skip back. Don't need to pull no horses. This is who I am. But I want entry because I don't want to talk about something I'm not part of. Now, I don't see a conflict. If you don't see a conflict, let's go. You see what I'm saying? Now, someone else with another portion of understanding might see a conflict, but that's for them to walk their path. But my prophet tells me in every hall he would sit, the heights that any man had gained, these two would gain. And then the brother on the side told me I shouldn't do it. I'm gonna go with the prophet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with Jesus. I'm gonna go with the Jew that went to Egypt and applied for entrance into the Egyptian temple, the Jewish guy. You know what I'm saying? The same Jewish guy that went to the Hindu temple and did the same thing. The same Jewish guy that went to the Greek temple and did the same thing. That same Jewish guy that told his own people what they were doing wrong. I'm with him. The prophet said, if I can get the Moors to think, they can save themselves. So if you want to come in and you want to just stay as you are, that's fine. The meetings are open for the public. But if you want to be a member, one time, Brother Clark, I don't know if you remember, Brother Clark here, and I'm gonna get right to, let's get there. It was a Friday, I think it was a Friday. We had a nice meeting. Brother Clark was the chairman for a while, and he used to always say, pull out the nationality card. Says anybody who wants to find out about membership in the Moorish Science Temple of America can come forward. So some sister came forward, and she's like, I'd like to get a nationality. He says, now I didn't ask who wants a nationality. I says, anybody want to join the Moorish Science of America, the organization? And then you get a nationality. And she's like, I just came to get the nationality. And he's like, it doesn't work like that. End of the meeting, listen to what happened now. Meeting's over, 25 minutes later. I'm going and walking up Ralph Avenue, go to my car. We used to park on a parallel, on a diagonal. And I'm walking, as I'm going by this car, brother gets out the car with a fez on, brother I've never seen before. Right down the block from Temple. How can you deny someone their nationality? Gotta startle me first, like, huh? Yeah, you told the sister, and I looked, the sister that was in the temple, she's in the car. So the brother with the fez on brought the sister to the temple, sent her in the temple, stayed in the car with his fez on when we're having a meeting of the Moorish Science of America Prophet Noble Jew Ali Khan. Remember I said the prophet's always there standing there next to you when you act whatever way you want to act? And then he's going to challenge the Grand Sheik in the street about me not giving her a nationality card. You know what the prophet said? Pity the absurdity. You gotta know what something being absurd. You know what I'm saying? So I just like, wow. So I'm just saying this is that if you want to be a member of the Marine Corps, that's how he had to walk. He couldn't be like, yo, I'm a Marine, that's my blue, bro. I put a green stripe there, goes with the red. You know, he can't do that. You join the company. You working for the bank, TD Bank, MTA, right? You work for MTA. We work for different places. Sometimes there's a uniform. Let's skip it back. It's on.
So,
You had your hand up too? Okay.
Yeah, let's go say please, everyone.
it's on.
It's on.
I'm gonna try to key this into what you were saying.
Okay, praise the Lord.
It says we first started out with being thyself. And then we went into our religion, Islamism. And according to those two questions, what I come up with is what it says in chapter 26, the holy instructions of unity. It says, the gift of understanding of the treasures of Allah be appointed to everyone his portion of what measure seemeth good unto himself. So, in being yourself, you're actually given the portion of Allah that was given to you by your Creator, Allah. And in the Pentecost wisdom, in chapter 39, page 47, in which you were talking about, come as you are, and you don't stay that way. There's a goal to achieve. And the prophet says, learn, in verse 3, it says, learn to esteem learn to esteem as thou art, then thou art near the pinnacle of wisdom. So that's what the process of this change is about, reaching the pinnacle of wisdom. You come as you are, and you be who you are, and you raise up your level of consciousness from that point on to a higher level. And that's what this is about, becoming, because we're to make people conscious of what their mission is. Yes. To the sons of men. So that's what we're doing. But when a person comes in here, if you know they're not changing, you know that they're not putting their best foot forward, because this will make you change.
I'm gonna get right to this grand chief that said, you know, if you go to my Facebook page, if you're on Facebook, you see something from Brother Fuqua from the Grand Chief of TEMPLE34 in Detroit. And he just break it down like, stop blaming your mom and your friends, what happened at work. Stop blaming everybody for what's going on in your life. And that's when we come to the temple, especially with the European. A lot of people come in and hating on the European. Like, oh, more. We put ourselves in slavery. Who? If you rule in the world in the 7 seas and you all that, and no one could take it from you, you had to give it up. They said they took the nationality. You must have been in such a state, you let someone take your lunch money, right? They took it from you. Because you're in such a state. Sister Sealsville, Islam.
Islam, I just wanted to know if anybody wanted to Islam Sister M. Serrano, babe, as it just seems that the sister is maneuvering quite a bit during the meeting. And I know our Sunday school was instructed to bring the youth. So I know there's some youth present. I also just wanted, of course, like Roger gets this Allah already. When the brother announced everything with Michael, I'm totally sure it's the same brother that said that he was gonna come say something on a Thursday, Sam. And so I just didn't know if the brother maybe had any questions, because I know he was spoken to, and I just wanted to maybe give that opportunity. And I also saw a hand by brother Peter is ill. And I was also gonna say, even though we have honored the things that were left to us, we have to also recognize that the laws were instituted for the governing of these people. And so he wonderfully buried them in all of us. And he will exact justice in that concept. And so to still remember and to kind of be made aware of the laws. And as we are part and parcel of this government, there are still laws that we're all held to. And so with respect to it, we still have a role within the ministering concept. And as far as from a spiritual and also a earthly perspective. And with that, I say.
You said so much. I mean, we could start on a local level, the role you have in your family, the role you have as a citizen, the roles you might have as a member here, the role if you live in Brooklyn. What about if you live on this block, in a block association? You live on Hancock Street, but you don't participate in that? You know, the role you have in your family. I mean, before, people start to, so you got the local situation, right? New York City. You got counties, you're in the county of Kings, right? You got state jurisdiction, where the prophet says he's not gonna make any law, anything in variance with any of these other laws because we're about obeying the laws of the government. Right, so you could take it all the way up to the federal level, and then you could take it to whatever treaties, right? Any treaties that the United States has or international agreements that we have with other countries. Right, because you're a citizen in the United States, right? The Moors always talk about the Moroccan Treaty, right? Well, peace of friendship. Well, you better know where you are in there. Because if you're quick to say, oh, I'm not with America, then you're not a citizen of the United States of America. So you gotta consider that. I'm gonna get right to you, but I think we got two guests. I don't know if one of y'all had a question. Brother Darren.
I was thinking of the definition, I was saying definition. I was just wanting to know the definition of like, cause I'm pondering that by myself, and I'm thinking, or if I read my son, stuff, like, cause y'all was talking about being, by teaching them to be themselves. So me, sometimes, like, when I read this Bible, I was talking about the knowledge of the evil. So before I got to good and evil, I was thinking, what's the definition of?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You got one of these?
Yeah, it's not, Google, they don't give me like.
It gives you Webster, where we're talking about the English language, right? And we're talking about using language to convey a thought, right? I see someone, I want to say something to them this morning. Sun is up, got coffee, they're walking by me, and I look at it, I say, good morning, right? If I see a brother with a feather, might be in a Spanish neighborhood, whatever, I think they speak in Spanish, I said, buenos dias. If I'm in Germany, my mom's from Germany, I might say, good morning. Whatever way I say it. So the reason I'm saying is that all we have is we have these phones and they take us to different sites. You go to Black's Law Dictionary, he just quoted from Black's Law when we talk about nationality, with the definition of nationality. Right? So someone look up for us. So let me ask you a question what I'm talking about. We talked about religion earlier. You know what the word religion means? What it means? The word means. I like the way you're sounding out because see, a lot of these words come from other words. Like that word comes from a Latin word, right? Just like you see Latin, you know what I'm saying, in certain laws, right? So religion, regalia, it means to bind back. To bind back. Yoga or yoke is to yoke back. The purpose of these different religions is just like if you want to go to Manhattan and you're trying to figure out how to get there, and you go over here, you might say put the Google in or the GPS, is it take the Belt Parkway when you're over here to get to Manhattan. When you're over here, it says take the Long Island Expressway to get to Manhattan. Each way, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, all people for thousands of years, even before these religions, were trying to find a way how to get to the creator. So the religion, kind of like when we were talking about Islam, but then Islamism is actual practice. See, being in Islam, salvation just being in Islam. It's got to be in you. Listen.
Is any way you say the words and it's still, I think you basically.
Yes. I'm saying you have to live the life. You can go to the mosque, you can pray 5 times. You can go to the synagogue and get into Paul. You can go to the church and get on your knees and pray to Jesus or Mary. You can come to More Science of America, say the prayer, participate. But in your heart, are there principles? Are you learning how to love instead of hate? Are you changing? Are you taking the focus of why you are where you are off of everyone else and putting it on yourself? Because karma, one of the laws of the universe, couldn't put you in a place that you didn't deserve to be. It wouldn't be just. So to turn it back, it's on.
It's wrong.
We gotta wrap it up. We got 10 minutes more.
That word with a prophet, this is a question, that word with a prophet say, better citizens. Right, so it's like complex for you. Because, and then when people say, we follow the laws of the government, right? So, there's many laws, right? And they're distinguishable and don't operate on all citizens the same. So, is there somewhere where there's specific laws that operates on moral merit, so that we don't, because say, be careful, your own brother leads you back into servitude, slavery. So we want to be mindful because knowing the laws and how I feel is very important. Not knowing whether you have good character or not, it does me no justice.
Praise Allah. And I got you, sister. So I was thinking about that this morning, and I thought about you for a second. I was thinking about the prophet said he was teaching them those things and make them better citizens. Right. And I was thinking, I wonder what he was teaching them exactly. You know what I'm saying? So here the prophet approaches a Negro, 1925, on the streets of Chicago. That Negro, woman or man, is acting a certain way. Moore, you ever heard of the expression rush hour? Do you know there used to be a certain point in the day where all the people that worked in the European areas, where they had to be out of that area by a certain point in time? And that was the original rush hour. Rush hour. Now they use it in reference to traffic. Rush hour traffic, heavy. Because why? Because everyone got off around the same time and they're all trying to get out of town. Rush hour. But it was that at a certain point in time, you couldn't be in certain neighborhoods. So imagine that's the state of mind. And here the prophet comes, teaching them those things to make them better citizens. And I was thinking, like the brother was thinking, I wonder what some of the things he was telling them. Because I think in telling them to be themselves and different things was all tying in to them being better citizens. So let's go to the Morris literature. Does these young men have Morris literature back there?
Probably not.
I'll make sure they have some. Any more? I got something
The
here.
treasurer was coming to grab something, Islam?
So when I think about it, Brother Turner Bay, and I was thinking about maybe you helping us out with some civics classes this year. You know what I'm saying? When we think about, and I was thinking about that earlier, I told you our year goes from September 1st until August 31st. That's the fiscal year of the Moorish Science of America. And so there's some things we want to accomplish this year. Our motto is we're marching. We're marching. And one of the words I'm thinking about is try. Try. We're marching, but at least try to march. But this article here, Brother Turner Bay, is like, I like a foundation of starting with what the prophet was talking about as far as being a better citizen. So this is on page 5 at the bottom. It's called an editorial, a divine warning by the prophet for the nation. Brother Smithfield, could you read the first paragraph?
Islam?
Islam.
Praise and honor is already given. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that allude to slavery. Peace.
Let's ponder that for a second. You know, a lot of times we read stuff, and sometimes you gotta just think about it. First of all, it's an editorial. What is an editorial? Like someone trying to make a statement, right? A public statement, right? You write an editorial, send it to the newspaper, right? You want the people to know something. What does the prophet want the people to know? A divine warning by the prophet for the nations. So I get right to you more. So a prophet is representing God, right? Prophet Muhammad said he sent over 124,000 prophets, right? You probably know Jesus, maybe you know Buddha, Confucius, but so many prophets. But God inspires them to say certain things to the people. He says, the citizens of all free national governments. That's not all governments, right? The citizens of all free national government, because you have some governments just ruling the people not free. You know what I'm saying? They're just being dominated by people by power, right? But the citizens of all free national government, according to their national constitution, now you gotta know a little bit about history. The America is known as the Great Experiment. Google that, look that up. The Great Experiment, where the sovereignty that was in the pharaoh, the king, the sultan, the sovereignty is being taken from them and given to the people. So now the people have the sovereignty. And the people decide to set up a Republican form of government in which they will have representation of their sovereignty in this government. Thus the term, every man is a king in his castle in America, because you're a sovereign. You're a little king in your little castle, and all the little kings get together and send their congressman or their state representative or whatever to represent you. But the power's in me. I have the sovereignty. And over the years, all of these other nations, now we have constitutional governments. And so this is what the prophet's talking about here. These certain type of governments. And then you look, it kind of connects to where the prophet says in Acts 7, this new era, not a new age. This new era where all men might be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. See, it's a new era now. It's not with the kings and the queens no more. Now it's presidents and prime ministers and whatever government situation you set up. And all those kings are sitting in the background, like the King Charles, who's sitting in the back. The royalty in Japan, they're sitting in the back. You know, there's a few that still hold on to that. But going on to what it says. So, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name, period. That's a complete thought. Japan, you're Japanese. China, you're Chinese. Mexico, you're Mexican. Right, Sister Seals here? Yes, sir.
That's why I'm just in connection with the thought, where within any religious body or group that you go into, even those that are incorporated within the government, they recognize that they obey the laws of the land as long as they don't oppose God. And just within the Constitution in and of itself, there is a specific stance in which you're allowed to take based on certain religious precepts. And so just with even being a part, so for example, ministering, your records, just like in HIPAA and the medical environment, things like that have to be submitted when it goes through a certain process because how it's instituted, but it follows a different process because this is a largely religious organization. But I would also say that just as you were reading, it says on page 6, found inside of my cover list, Moorish literature that's been with me for some time. It says, I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own free national and divine standard. So that speaks to aspect of how we tore ourselves away and debased ourselves, right? And we clung to those names that alluded to slavery. So it's like when you start to act like a Negro for a long time, and then you come home to mom and you tell her, it's okay, you don't have to pick up your purse every time I come around. And she's like, okay. It's the same concept of us establishing and reestablishing ourselves within the government. Because it's one thing to proclaim a nationality, but he's telling you that it arises from the fact of belonging to. So not proclaiming, but belonging to. So there's certain attributes and things that have to be made present in order to acquire the respect. Because we never had a shortage of skills. We never had a shortage of kickback. We never have had a shortage of certain things. The more than just plain rich. But when we debased ourselves in the quality of character, we were no longer able. That's why he had to say, go to those who know law. Quote, in an intelligent tone. He had to remind us about those things because usually those are the things that we take away from ourselves and from our character as far as the nation. I was just gonna also respond to the brother when he said of and that, and I looked it up just related to just the basic of when you asked, and it said the concept of belonging to or knowledge of. It also, I was gonna just connect directly to math. Math, when you do of, it goes back into multiplication. So when you're multiplying, it speaks to of. So 4 out of 5. So that could be a ratio. So the percentage of, right? No problem.
No, I went from here not to cut nobody.
No,
That's the character that I learned last time. I was not in here, but saying that's a piece of the character that I took with me, that I wanted to take with me, but I couldn't. Like I couldn't practice it outside. Like I tried, but it's only around yard. It goes. It's only
Praise the Lord. No, that was definitely just a good thought. The fact that you were even able to catch the thought, right? And see it in your intent was coming from a certain way. I definitely didn't feel offended, but I understand if you find that there's something you're working on, and honestly, for being able to catch yourself at any point in time. It says expression of relationship between a part and a whole. That was one of them. It says expression of relationship between a scale or a measure and a value. And so it just continues to connect it back to expressing that relationship. And with that, that's a piece.
So obviously you're gonna continue the conversation, all right? So going back to what I was saying is we're trying. And here's where we practice, right? Just think about it. For 2 hours on a Sunday, you come in here, control yourself. You're not cursing. You're thinking about higher things. Think about your nationality. Thinking how you can help your people. You think about how you can help yourself. How you can be a better citizen, a better father, a better son. You know, well, Skipper Bay's an artist. So it's like, if you can imagine that this is a block of wood or this is a piece of stone and he's a sculptor. And he comes into his workshop and he's working. Right? 2 hours, he does some work, go home, and come back and do some more work, right? So this is how we're working on ourselves. In the workshop of the mind, right? Where things are made of thought. And what are we doing there? Build up our character. All right? So praise Allah. We'll continue next week in our Quran class, and we'll have our Friday meeting at 7:30.
Islam, you never acknowledged J. Peter's L. He had his hand up for a while.
All right, so we have to get him during secretary's time. Praise Allah, because I got 3:34. Praise Allah. We'll get right to you, Brother Peters here. Thank you so much for the privilege. Islam.
Islam, again.
I'd like to thank all Grand Chico for the class and also the members for the participation in the class, and that's what it's all about. This is how we grow and develop, helping each other see how this movement is moved. Father said we trying to uplift foreign humanity in chapter 48, and we trying to uplift foreign humanity. So you gotta try. Praise the Lord. I'd like to thank you for his reading, for conducting the class, and I thank the members for their participation in the class. Let me just, read the warning. Hmm? Read the warning. Divine warning by the Prophet Noble Dwali. Prophet warns are Muslims, governors, for the proclamation of his reading. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, on the street. We're for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans that causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. There's a lady's order would be of severe consequence. We're for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid out to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turbans and fairs, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Ali. If the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the prophet and the temple. It's an everlasting movement founded by the prophet to the will of Allah, redeeming people from their sinful ways by order of prophet Noble Ali. Peace. All right, no. We ain't gonna play that. Mr. Monkey. There's a lot. But Army Bay, you want to help us out? Officer Skipper Bay, you want to help us out? So you gotta go. You gotta leave. Brother Jordan, you want to know about it? Brother Jordan, help us. Yes.
That's a very Islamic shirt there, brother. Oh, Army, praise Allah. Islam. Got a crescent on the star, praise Allah on the back.
Praise the Lord, yeah, that's real rare.
Oh, here it is, right here, man. Right here.
There it is.
Oh, there it is, yeah, because It's Sister Jordan, any announcements?
Islam, praise and honors given in unison earlier. I'm actually going to just suggest that the Moors join us on our Facebook page. We have a public page and a private page under Moorish Science Temple number 34. We also have our Facebook chat. Please be sure to join our chat because we place any announcements in there as well as on those pages. If you have any questions or concerns or any issues, you can also reach us on Facebook. You can reach out to our Grand Sheik, our Assistant Grand Sheik, Chairman, Secretary, Treasurer, any other of the sheiks, and they'll make sure to bring your concern or issue to the attention of the person that can assist you. I just wanted to remind the Moors that on Friday, our holy day, Friday's our holy day, and that we start our meeting at 7:30 until usually we go about until 10. And then on Sunday, we have our Sunday school. It begins at 2 p.m. and we close that at 4. If you have any other questions, you can ask them during this time. It's the secretary time. It's a good time to ask them. And with that, I will say peace.
Islam?
Islam.
Brother JP, you see?
Islam? Another announcement?
No.
Yes, so brother Islam, brother Ilorio is also at the hospital, and he sent the updated text message just now. That Islam sister assistant grant, she's filling out forms and taking exams to be released. So we'll give more Americans an update as the process goes on. I sent him the Zoom link meeting, the Zoom meeting link. He was able to log in, but it seems as though he's having a little difficulty maybe reaching us, well, connecting the sound. So I'm gonna just try to give him a call. I guess, is that okay? Islam? I'm gonna try to give him a call while I'm here because he's trying to log in. So just to make sure you can hear a word or something from the brother. Any thoughts? That's the thought. All right, no problem. Peace.
Peace. Brother JP, you see?
Islam, Lord. First and foremost, I want to rise. First and foremost, we are the children of one father, provided for by a care, and the breast of one mother have given we up. We want to rise and give praise to the great God of the universe. Honor to his prophet and everything he has done for the uplift and the form of humanity. Give honor to the man, because the man honors the man, he honors the Father God Allah. So I just kind of wanted to share a little thought that came up with when the brother Grand Sheik was speaking about member, right? The little etymology of member, right? So when we think of member and we think of dismember, right? When we think of dismember or we dismember something, right? It's to take something apart, right? When we think of dismembering something, we think of taking it apart, right? Now when we remembering something, right? That means we're trying to put it back together, right? We're putting those soul parts back together so that we can remember, right? The soul part. He said human spirit cloaked with soul made in the form of Allah. So when we remember something, we're putting those soul parts back together, right? And and he said those who was with him 2,000 years ago was with him. So we just have to remember. Us being members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we just have to remember those when we was with the prophet, because we still here with him. So just have to remember. Peace, Moses.
Peace. Praise Allah.
Islam?
Islam too. Amen.
As far for those that it was a little garbled, it was he saying concept of membership, members, like if you were no longer to have your hands, your legs, your arms, you'd be dismembered. So it's kind of like that concept of bringing back that information makes it all whole, that kind of oneness again. So he was connecting it to membership and that connection. Relating it to more of like a scientific term as far as connecting with this number, just for those who may have only heard one part of the word. I just want to tie in and click on you to have brother Ilorio. It's fine, brother Lordo.
Islam, most Americans.
Islam.
How's my family doing?
Family as well. Praise Allah. How you doing?
I'm recovering. Praise Allah. Allah be the praise.
More, we need you on your post next week.
Y'all miss me already?
Yeah. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Likewise.
How you feeling, Mo?
I'm feeling stronger, so every day I'm getting a little bit stronger. I'm following directions as well as doing my own research. And praise Allah, I was in time with the time, and I came in time.
All right, so you're gonna be at the hospital later?
Actually, right now, they were actually monitoring me this weekend, and today they said they were pleased with my progress, and when they look at the imaging and just my natural functioning,
and they said they cut me loose. I gotta come right back for physical therapy. Then they're gonna decide if they want me to do indoor or outdoor for a couple of days, depending on how my first session goes. The session there was pretty good, but they want to see how I do, I think, tomorrow.
All right, well, I'll call you after the meeting, right?
All right. Your brother getting stronger.
Yes, no. No, get you
Praise Allah.
some peppermint oil, bro, man.
Well, what's that one? Some peppermint balls?
Peppermint oil is good for the respiratory.
Peppermint oil. Yes, the oil.
Yes, sir.
That's good for the respiratory. It's good for the system, right?
Yes, sir. You either put it in some like a with a little candle under it to have the scent aroma come out, or you can put some drops in a pot of water and just let it steam up like that. Either way is both good. And it'll open up that respiratory, open up your lungs and all of that.
Thank you for that information. I think I remember I used to have that a part of my regimen, and then getting busy toiling too much. I think I kind of weaned out, but I think it's the right time for that. I think I remember about the peppermint oil. It's very good for the respiratory, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm gonna take that advice.
Peace.
Any portion I get.
It's
I think I'm muted. It's on. Brother Chairman said it's on. I just wanted to let the more know.
It's we got two answers. I mean, your brother came in last week. You want to give your name again that we put you down on the record? Yeah. Yes. That brother's name. He did again?
Darren Ian. Sheelan.
The other brother? The other brother that came in?
Michael Hall.
Michael Hall?
Yes.
Yeah, welcome to the More Center of America. We want to find out how you found out about Temple 34. I think it was on the Thursday call?
Yes.
Okay, praise Allah. Good to yeah, welcome to the More Center of America.
It's kind of a long, complicated story. I don't even know where to begin the story, but I found this particular symbol because I Googled it. I was trying to find more about the more science symbol. I read Noble Jali's Quran. Very impressive information. I heard about nationality, and every time I saw a brother walking around with a fez, the information, it wasn't necessarily spot on. It was sometimes, it was a little bit. In other words, I got to the point where I figured I should just go to the temple. So I Googled the temple, I found 34, I found 21, I called 34, no, I called 21, and no one answered the phone. I called 31 and I phoned over the phone by the name of Cyrus Hill, who was extremely informative. And he gave me the flyer to the Thursday conference. I tuned in the Thursday conference. I asked a few questions, I listened in, and I made a determination to come in today on Sunday.
Okay.
I also have 3 questions if I may.
Yes, you may.
What is the history of the feds? Is my first question. What is the correlation between the more science symbol and I know to be Freemasonry? And the third question is, what is the significance of that I suppose I called it a throne behind it.
Say your first name again, I'm bearing with name.
Michael. Some people say Mikael. Okay. Okay. So give me the first question again.
The first question is, what's the history of the Feds?
The history of Fez. So this Fez, the history of it, it comes from an ancient capital called Fez, Morocco. All right, and it's probably even older than that. But in this capital, they was known to make this headdress. It was known to have a certain dye that got a certain color red in it. All right, and so it's kind of like a cylinder and cylindrical in this sense that. All right, if you take that, right, you ever seen like magicians and stuff? Marlon the magician, you ever seen? They have a hat like that, right? So if you take this hat, and you cut this part off, this triangle off, right? That's the Fed, right? Now the science, right? This is our chart. Hangs on the wall, like if you went to Bank of America or TD Bank, you want to make sure you're in the right place, right? What's their certification? Are they chartered bank? Are they official? Not just someone walking down the road saying, I'm T&T Bank. And they got a little something green. And you're like a T, you're like, they don't even really look at the full logo, right? So you're not sure. But this is our charter. You know, the Moorish Science Temple of America. And you notice here, it's got the Fed. And you notice it's figure number 1. All right? And so when the brother and sister come to the temple, not the sister, but the brothers wear the Fed and the sisters wear turban. Right? But I'll give you a little bit of history. But the meaning is that we're trying to become, you got a dollar bill? No, well, I was wondering, you got a dollar bill. It's like the people that said, yeah.
There's a lot.
You've seen that plenty of times, right? Of course. What's that? The pyramid?
Yes.
See the Feds? A pyramid? You see there's something on the top of the pyramid?
I've seen that
Right?
plenty of places.
Right? You see that top of the magician? Right? So it's all about, you come in like this, but then you want to add the providence, the tassel. We're talking about, we're representing gods and goddesses. The Feds doesn't make you, you make the Feds. Anybody can go online nowadays. They can buy Masonic symbols, they can buy Feds, turbans, you can buy everything now, some of this stuff. You can go out there and go all whatever.
I don't know this new question.
The Feds.
Yes, Brother Hill explained that there's a difference between the red and the black.
Yeah, the black Feds and so now, so let's take a step back. So now you have the Moorish National and Divine Movement, which is people that's not even part of this organization, right? Their grandmother was in them. So somehow they're connected to the organization. Our organization's over 100 years old. So you might have someone's grandfather was a member, and their grandson found out something, looked on Google, I'm gonna wear Feds like grandpa. He never joined the organization. He's just out there. He's out there, YouTube's and the internet, you meet him, you see him. So they're part of the nation, they're part of the movement, but they're not part of this organization. So the prophet organized something for us to have a vehicle in order to operate within this government and to operate internationally. So now this vehicle is under the Moorish Science of America. And this is our charter. The charter comes from the state of Illinois. Prophet set it up in Chicago. So we're a foreign corporation doing business in New York from a charter that's issued in Illinois, just like the 50 states of America do business with each other. All right, so that's the Feds. All right, the chair, there's a chapter in the temple. It talks about after Jesus was killed and he was crucified, there were some brothers in India sitting around talking about Jesus, talking about the personality and the needs of the world. And Jesus appeared. He came from, like you have 3 levels. I'm just gonna use an example of H2O, ice, the solid, speed up the molecules. becomes a liquid, speed up the molecule, it becomes a gas. 3 different phases of the same engine. So just like us, Einstein, E equal mc squared. E is energy, equals m is mass, c is the speed of light. Again, with the movement. The faster things move, they get to a certain point, you can't even see them. All right, so he reappeared, crossing from the soul plane to the physical plane, and they had a chair, a vacant chair, was facing to the east. And he sat down in the vacant chair. This chair represents the resurrection of not only Jesus, but all of those masters that can resurrect and have resurrected. So this chair represents the fact that we hope one day he'll do the same thing he did in India. That the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who to us is Jesus, is Muhammad, is the first man Adam, is the spirit that sits at the right-hand throne of Allah, the son of Allah. He's the prototype. We all came from that man. And that man can cross the borderland. We're hoping that we're holding on to this organization and trying to do the right thing by him, that he will bless us one day and come here in the physical. I mean, spiritually, we got the ancestors and the angels always are with us, but in the physical. So that's what that chair represents. And you had a third question.
It was, what's the
Masonic. Right, Masonic. All right, most of us that study the Masonic or know some of the Masonic history, know it started in the 1700s in England. And what they did is they took portions of our ancestors, just like Plato did, just like Socrates did, just like Pythagoras did. They went into Egypt, they went into India. Listen, Egypt did not originate all of this. People think Egypt was transporting older civilization towards the new civilization, which we know as Egypt, which we know as in South America and North America, these various civilizations that had pyramids. They were remnants of continent of Mu, Atlantis, and even more ancient. They go way back. They said it was civilizations in the Gobi Desert that are 250,000 years old. All right, so all of this comes to Egypt, and Egypt is in charge of making sure the world has this. But now, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who's an Egyptian Adam, has come to America with all what the Masons, the Europeans have done and taken that knowledge and made it this and made it that and all of that. He's come to America to his people that was praying for Jesus to come, coming out of slavery. He's come and restored our nationality and brought us back to Islam, which is the religion that Adam practiced. It's what the angels told Adam in the beginning, before the fall down here. See, we're not going, Muhammad and all of the prophets is building up because we had lost what Adam had, the original. So we had lost, and Allah was sending all these prophets to get us back, and we finally got to a point where he could take us back to the original. And so that's what we're representing, the original man. You know what I'm saying? The original man, Adam, that stood in front of Allah and was taught by the angels. That's what we're trying to do here. So it's good to have you. Our meetings are from 2 to 4. I hope I answered some of your questions. And I have questions too. We all have questions, but it's good to meet you, Brother Mike.
Sir.
All right. Brother, you good, Brother Darren?
Yeah, I want to ask you.
You can ask. We got a time limit.
It's
Yeah,
3:59.
can I, instead of a question, can I say that when you pick the editorial, the word editorial, like I just wanted to make it, what's it called when you add on to something but not make it, but make it good, say something positive.
Addition?
Camel.
Camel war? We don't say piggyback, so we say camel war.
Yeah.
Yeah, add to it. What do you mean?
Yeah, like the word editorial, because I was thinking out a great word that you picked because we was talking about the Torah. So I was just seeing how that went together, the Torah and then the word education, and then dictionary. You was like, in the dictionary, so the BIT inside of editorial.
Oh, you was getting ready. So I see you like etymology more. Etymology?
How you picked that word when I was pondering in my mind, and I was just like,
listen,
he knows what he's doing.
Where you from? Brooklyn, Queens, and halfway?
Well, Earth. I don't like the,
Okay. I can work with that. From Earth. this time. Earth hasn't always been here, but you have. Okay? Right now, if I turn on to a radio station, the famous one called WBLS, I grew up in New York, you hear the music they're playing. Let's say they're playing a song that Jay-Z like, whatever it is. I didn't know it was on until I turned my radio on. So editorial is in the ethers. You turn on your radio, I turn on my radio, we picked up on the same radio. Right? I'm actually the managing editor in chief of the newspaper. Yeah,
Let's see.
see? But here's, you ever seen this, and you picked a good temple. You see what I'm saying? Well, I only say you picked a good temple, the way it worked out. War governs all events. All right? That don't mean you can not, you might not join this temple, you might go to the temple 21, you might go to temple 64, you might go to New Jersey, you might go ever. But wherever we go, we all try to teach the truth. All right? And the word editorial, what do you got, Brother Smith here?
Islam.
Islam.
When it comes to the definition of editorial, we have of relating to an editor or editing. So it's the connection of the two words editor and then al. And then being or resembling an editorial, we also have an expression of opinion that resembles such an article, or a newspaper or magazine article that gives the opinions of the editors or the publishers.
See? So, but the profit in publishing that editorial is letting the public know how we as an organization feel. That we as an organization feel that everyone must answer up to being an American. Because of that statement that all free national governments, according to the free national, and if you don't answer up and you're in Mexico and you don't want to be Mexican, that's fine. But the people will treat you a certain way that's Mexican. You know how it is, you hear the job, I'm not American. All right, you're gonna be treated a certain way.
I was born in Brooklyn.
All right, oh, so now you can look at it.
I'm saying, I'm
See, because when it comes to, because when we got stuff to give out, we're not giving out for people from Earth. Right? That Congress did a lot, you talk about a citizen, right? So if the city council gets a certain allotment, and brother did some work and he had a program in Brooklyn, they allot the money for this Brooklyn program that the brother helped do with some other people in the neighborhood, that money's not going to Staten Island. It's going to them that's in Brooklyn. And if you said I'm not from Brooklyn, then you're not gonna get that finance.
But
the real thing, right?
Is part of the currency. It's the currency too. Real is the currency. So when you say editorial, and then the word real is a part is a currency as well. So you talk about money, like it's just everything was just going together. And it shows that you was a sheep.
I'm gonna drop this on you from Temple 21 from 30 years ago. Okay? In the temple, we can look it up. Yeah. Right? You can look it up, look up the information, right? We all look it up, we talk about what we looked up, right? Or you can hook it up. You seen it over here in this one, you seen it here, we talk about the Fed, right? So I see the Feds here, you seen something up with the Fed, you hook that with the Fed, you hooked it up. And then the last one is when you cook it up. You didn't look it up, you just made it up. Now I don't know about the editorial part. When you started going to money and stuff like that, you lost it.
No, I'm saying real. Real is a certain type.
I got you. And I like the way you're thinking. He's breaking down the science of the word. Yeah. But we're just trying to stay away from too much cooking. Okay. All right, Brother Darren? You sound like you want to cook something up there, but it's okay because see, this is what's gonna happen.
Not a good cook.
See, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the Nation of Islam in the pot. Not you. Put the good old church and auntie in the pot. The Moorish science up in the pot, then you was a fraternity brother and you're a frat brother, you put that in the pot. You're a Mason, so you throw that in the pot. Then you're gonna mix it all, cook it all together and give it out. You can't do that here. Because then you could throw it off. So you got a prophet, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, from Allah. Not Albert Pike, not Al Sharpton, not some Farrakhan, not some good brother, good sister, Sojourner Truth, but you got Moses, you got Solomon, you got representatives who've given you a message. So my advice is take that message and make yourself a foundation. And then when the Moors come or someone else comes, you put it against your foundation. See if it passed the test. It passed the muster.
Like who is Abraham's servant? That wolf with the 10 kidneys, what's his name?
Oh my
Something
goodness.
like that.
You got an application?
No.
All right.
Praise the Lord.
It's good to meet you, more. Good to meet you.
It's not, it's just-
Sister, see you there? Yes, sir.
It's praise the Lord. I just wanted to, make sure that we still send out a good thought for Brother Adams Day as he's going through his process of healing and recovery, and just keeping that positive thought out for all of the more, as we know, thoughts travels faster before we get to the word, the actor, the deed.
That's right.
Also, we had past Veterans Day, right? And we're talking about the Constitution, and we're talking about all these different things. I just wanted to give a special thought out to those veterans. And, I know we talked about even some of the Buffalo soldiers, right? Just that concept of just putting a thought out for those who are still, who partaking in the service.
Yeah.
So that's their piece.
Yeah, tomorrow we have a civil engagement act. And it's to the council meeting, 10%, the 77 precinct. We're gonna be in the school, it's not gonna be at the precinct, gonna be in the school.
They also have it online too.
And also on Zoom, you can be on Zoom too, if you see you can be on Zoom. I gonna be at the, I do that.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah, it's on. If y'all want to make a donation to brother and sister Adams family, talk to me or the assistant Grand Sheikers will give you cash app information or Zelle or whatever you could do. They try to do anything on social media. There's a lot of legal things from what I heard. The brother was driving down the road on his motorcycle on his way to work, and somebody in the opposite direction, you try to pass someone, so you go like on the other side of the yellow line and try to pass someone. And when they went to make their move, the brother was right there on the motorcycle. So he didn't have a chance to react. They already made their move, and now here's a pickup truck and a motorcycle coming out of pickup truck. That's not pretty. But our lives are blessed. We've been praying. We just keep on praying for them. I mean, the doctors was acting like at first, like, well, what do you want us to do, kind of thing. Sister Adams, they told me that she didn't get any kind of feeling from Allah that the brother's leaving the plane. Like, the only feeling she got was that you got to hang in there and keep praying. And so the Moors kept on praying, and then the Jordaniels and the Borneals went down there last week, and the brother came out of a coma, and he's trying, he's still struggling, but you just keep praying. And if you want to financially help out, I know Sister Seals was going to try to get down there, and maybe we'll make another visit. But praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Another thought, just the message is something that was received. And just in that conversation, as you talking about Sister Adams Day, it's very true. Sometimes even just if you know more than you find yourself on the line, like I tied the brother in, right, to make sure that the grant you could have that connection. Because when you notice that there may be someone that's around you that may have just that little piece to offer, or maybe even has a different thought, do not hesitate to connect your brothers and sisters in a form of support and communication. Utilize sometimes your own personal connections with them. That's just a thought also, there was something that was said just to remove any possible offense. If you're not able, right, to, let's just say, look what others deem as the best. No, that doesn't take away from the content and quality of your character, because it's something that you display as far as in who you are as a person. And so the understanding, connecting back to that content and quality of one's character isn't necessarily something that's reflected in a person's attire, right? Because a person may be going through strife and strain. You have people who are coming from other countries that are brought in and may maybe not have been able to do anything. Refugees, you have different things. But there are things that can speak to just modesty. There are things that can speak to you trying your best with what you have within the station and place in which you're in. And so I just wanted to just make sure that that was something that was clear, that as we speak about utilizing these things, your appearance and the prophet speaking about looking your best, it's important to note the operative word there was your best. And so, but we're all here at the Moorish Science Temple of America to assist our members in many ways. And with that, I say please.
No, so we can close out.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord already did. When I listen to like motivational speakers and stuff like that, and just different content about trying to bring myself to the next level of wherever I am. And there's a saying that always sticks with me, and it's, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And so the way that I view the More Science Temple of America is I'm looking at brothers and sisters who are striving to do the right thing, striving to be better than who they were yesterday. And it might not look the same with every individual. So that's how I see myself and my own development in More Science of America.
Islam. Give attention to our secretary, assistant secretary, Brother Ian Smith here. As he reads the financial report.
Islam.
Islam.
More Science Temple of America, Temple number 34, financial received for November the 12th, 2023. Public collection received $18. Remedies received $24. Lifting fund, $11. Travel fund, $15. Local building fund, $11. Morse God received $3. We had a total attendance of 25, and come out to a grand total of financial received of $82. Fees.
Islam.
Islam.
You heard the reading of the financial report. What's the will and pleasure of the board? Brother El Sharon Bay.
So I'm gonna move that the financial report be accepted with the necessary corrections that they then.
Brother JP, this is. It was moved by Brother El Sharon Bay, second by Brother J.P. Hill, that the financial report be accepted with necessary correction as they be added. You heard the motion and ready for the question.
Question.
All in favor of this motion, show by the most way vote. Secretary, note that the motion has been carried.
Carried.
Is there anything else, Nancy? I'd like to thank everyone for the contribution physically, spiritually, and financially. Prayer law consider the guidance, or prayer law consider the protector. The prayer law consider the shields against all negative force seen and unseen. Remind them more. Don't forget duality prayer. And put a prayer out there also to heal the world. Because it's cruelty that make the world awry. And this is what's happened. The prophet said that there's only one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these modern days, and there's love to peace, freedom, and justice being taught universal to all nations and all lands. There's only one true and divine way. And we know what the prophet says, it has to come through. The prophecy has to be fulfilled, right? All rise, face the east. See the 90°, 45 minutes side, 5 fingers on the left and on the right. All those who do not wish to pray with speech or saying the silent benediction. We keep the motion right and pray. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
The Father of love.
Truth.
Peace. Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector. My God.
Right.
And my salvation.
By night.
And by day.
Holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet. Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen. Peace and love, Morris.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Islam, peace and love, family.
Peace and